Had some
Technical
visual teams
difficulties.
issues, yeah.
Technical difficulties.
Yes,
Okay.
but we're good.
Oh, we are, okay. Going to call to order the Culver Town Council meeting for Tuesday, November 28th, December 28th, 2021. Roll call, please.
William Clevenger,
Present.
Bill Gittens,
Here.
Sally Ricciardi.
Here.
Rich West,
Present.
and Bill Ham is absent.
Let's all stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, this meeting is being broadcast via Microsoft Teams and is being recorded. Participation in the meeting is your consent to being recorded and to the rebroadcast of the recorded meeting. Recorded meeting will be available for viewing on the town's YouTube channel. Now, everyone online and in this room, please make sure your cell phone is on mute during the meeting. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the December 14th, 2021 meeting minutes.
I'll move that we approve the December 14th minutes.
Thank you, Rich. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you, Sally. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the December 14th, 2021 meeting minutes. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next thing on the agenda is the second and third reading of ordinance 2021-16, 2022 salary ordinance. In front of you is what was read and passed on December 14th. And there's a second one that's been revised on certain salaries. Those covered are the elected town council, 4 members, the elected council president, 1 member, the elected clerk treasurer, and on that, with her 3 certifications. Everything else on the ordinance is the same. What is the council's wishes? And I'm just going to go A and B. A is the original one and B is the one I just read.
I would make a motion that we did a modification change to the original ordinance, adopting option 2 or B, the salaries just discussed.
What's your thoughts?
So they outline.
Read all the amounts. Is that what you want me to do?
Well, they're all the same except for the first 4, right?
Right.
That's all.
I need to read the first one.
The one you passed, the last one for the elected town council was $192.30 biweekly stipend.
Right.
Correct. And the item 2 or B is for the town council 4 is $215.38 biweekly stipend. Is that what you're talking about?
Correct.
Want to go ahead, that'd be fine.
All right. Then moving on to the elected council president. Was originally at $211.54 biweekly stipend, being on option 2 is $216.54 biweekly stipend.
61.
261.54 biweekly stipend. The elected clerk treasurer was originally $1,898.40 biweekly salaried. Now would read $1,961.54 weekly salaried, biweekly salaried. And with her 3 certifications, it was originally to be $1,958.40 biweekly salary. it would be going to $2,081.54 bi-weekly salary. Just so that everybody knows, I talked to all the council members individually and about several different items, and these are the four that each one said that they would go with, and we had a consensus. I should say we had a consensus out of everyone. And I even spoke with Bill Ham about it, and he's in agreement with those on option two.
Option one was actually no increase whatsoever for
Right.
those.
That is correct.
positions.
And option two is the increase as presented.
So again, I would renew my motion to modify the salary ordinance 2021-016 to reflect the changes just read into the record.
Motion been made. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Motion been made and seconded. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
You need to suspend the rules.
Pardon?
You need to suspend the rules.
Oh, thank you. Need to suspend the rules and
Motion to suspend the rules and
move on
pass on second, third,
on third reading. You just did second.
or third reading.
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to suspend the rules and approve the salary ordinance changes on third reading. All those in favor say aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. Next on the agenda is resolution 2021-005. ARPA funding. You want to read the whole
I
pages?
think we reviewed it last time. Jim made some suggestions. And we took out a lot of the specifics, made the suggestions that Jim adjusted it to Jim's suggestions. And as soon as, we can always go back and amend it, which is the idea. So it's down to we want it as well as possible. So we settle in on what.
So I need a motion basically to pass resolution 2021-005, a resolution of the town council adopting a plan for distribution of the proceeds of the Texas Towns Grant from the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, more commonly known as ARPA. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to approve resolution 2021-005. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is public hearing on additional appropriations. There's a motion to,
I'll move that we open the public hearing.
motion been made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion been made and seconded to open the public hearing for additional appropriations. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Would you like me to explain what it all is?
Hmm?
Would you like me to explain?
Please do.
Okay. So when we passed our budget back in 2020 or 2021, we based it on expectations of what money was going to be spent on. In the course of 2021, we've had a couple of additional expenses. And so we don't have enough money appropriated to cover those expenses. And I waited until the end of the year to make sure that we get everything covered. So I'm asking for additional appropriations for the fire budget for repairs and maintenance in the amount of $10,000. And then $20,000 for salaries for the EMS department. That $20,000 mainly because we added a fourth full-time person at the end of last. And then $60,000 for the park fund, and that mainly to cover the costs of the stormwater project and the sidewalks, and a couple of additional items that we added to that project.
Any comments from the public? Motion to close. Is anyone online? Comments on the appropriation ordinance? Appropriation. Hearing none, is a motion to close the public hearing.
Also move.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to close the public hearing. All those in favor?
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I make a motion. Ordinance 2021-007 for the additional approved appropriations, all reflecting expenses that have been approved by the council in earlier sessions.
017,
017.
021-017, right?
Again, all reflecting expenditures that have been approved by the council individually earlier.
There a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to approve ordinance 2021-017 on. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Motion to suspend the rules for second, third read.
For a second,
Second.
motion made to suspend the rules and approve ordinance 2021-017 for additional appropriations on second and third reading. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next, we need a public hearing to talk about unsafe building ordinance. Is there a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved. Okay, go ahead.
I'll make motion to open the public hearing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and seconded to open the public hearing on unsafe building ordinance. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Understanding from Karen is that the final ordinance hadn't been distributed to her.
Oh,
So
you didn't get it distributed to her?
I didn't get
Oh,
it
I thought
distributed
you were
to her.
making some revisions to it.
I did, and then Bobby said the final was different this morning. The one that I was given to review was not the final ordinance.
Okay, well, the one that I had submitted earlier and apparently you were given to review, it was pretty much the same one. It's final. We, of course, are naming the town council as the unsafe building board. We're adopting by reference the Indiana Unsafe Building Code 36-7-9-4. There is a whole list of activities and matters that the unsafe building folks and statute and so forth can undertake. The code provides our building commissioner with significant discretion in acting on a number of these things. You all requested an addition that the ordinance that we've established calls for civil penalties in some instances, and it also calls for the payment of costs by the landowner if it's in accordance with the code. You all requested that we add to that cost associated with certified mailings of notices. So that's been included in the ordinance. Let's see, what else did you do from the original? So it's rather long. I'd be happy to, read it, but I don't know that that's necessary under the circumstances. I think the key provisions have to do with the membership and the fact that I referenced the statute. We will be able then to conduct our affairs accordingly.
Do we have in the ordinance anything about an attorney? Or anything, or it's not necessary? I'm just asking.
We don't have it in the ordinance, anything about an attorney. I mean, that's,
Separate,
yeah, that's kind of a separate,
it's okay.
separate matter.
I actually think that they should probably have the ordinance in hand.
Yeah.
Before they go on and approve it. Essentially, what Jim is saying is correct, but what is going on is the prior ordinance didn't seem to work in congruence with the statute as well. And this aligns better with the statute, it will streamline your process. Eventually, some of the things having to do with owners doing repairs that are not demolition kind of things can be sent with a letter, and the owner is put on onus to request a hearing. If the owner doesn't request a hearing, then the owner waives the right to a hearing,
Hmm,
and that becomes a final unappealable order. So you can see the power in implementing the statute and getting the process to be a little more efficient. But I think that it'd probably be good to have the ordinance in front of you.
I guess I'm sorry about that. I thought you were reviewing it and I didn't realize Bobby passed along the prior unrevised copy that apparently,
Yeah, when I said it's good to go, she said, oh, wait, I didn't give you,
yeah,
The
I didn't
final
realize it wasn't getting sent down to
yeah.
Sarah. I thought, so a little confusion in our office. Sorry
Since-
about that. I know we are a long way away from each other. so.
There is there an urgency that this be approved this evening?
No,
No, okay.
I mean,
I would like to have the opportunity to review the actual ordinance that we're passing when it comes to the time of the vote.
and I'm sorry. I mean, I
No, that's
did
fine.
at one time send you a
Yes.
draft.
we got, yes, we
I
did.
saw the
then
earlier
we
draft,
did
but it
tweak
sounds
it,
as though there've been.
and it's fair enough, and I would agree with Councilman West that it makes sense to see even the tweak.
Well,
Should we advertise a new public?
Oh, I would
Like
definitely
close
think
this
so.
one and do
Yeah.
another one in January?
Yeah,
You want,
Or is it similar to, I guess the question would be, is it similar to a work set or a meeting that you suspend and then reconvene at a later date? So you don't have to go through all the advertising process.
So
That's my question for.
oh,
So would a motion to suspend the public hearing to our first meeting in January be compliant with the notice and registration?
will you be ready the first meeting?
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
yeah. I'll be
I
ready
just
go.
want to make it easy on everyone.
Yeah, I'm completely fine with that, and it would be my recommendation, to go ahead and just suspend. I think it's the right thing to have the ordinance in front of
I
you,
agree.
even if it's just a few words different. Reflection on it is good. Well,
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded to suspend the public hearing. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
functionally, I do want to add that there's no emergency to get this done. Some of those unsafe buildings have been sitting there for a long time, but doing this right and laying the proper foundation will eventually get it sped up.
Going to skip over the next, the first reading for the ordinance 2021 -020 unsafe building.
and I'll have Bobby send all of you the revised item. I didn't realize she hadn't. done
Thank
that.
you. Nope,
Talk about that.
it's okay.
And but the good thing is we drug my colleague out tonight to get into a meeting.
Yeah.
Huh?
Right,
It's
That's all I'll
always,
say.
it's always a pleasure to see her.
I know.
I know.
All right, moving along. Resolution 2021-004, transferring funds within departments and funds.
As with a lot of.
Ms. Porter?
Yes, as with a lot of items tonight, being the last meeting of the year, there's a lot of loose ends to tie up. So this resolution just is your approval of moving some funds around. So moving some money from the clerk's budget to the police, which actually doesn't have to happen, as we'll discuss. We already saved it. I forgot that the CRC was paying for the squad car and thought we need to cover some funds and we don't. But moving some money over to the fire department to make sure that they end up at zero in their budget. And then within each of the budgets, moving money around from major categories. So it's a lot of little detailed things that you probably really don't hear about, but I need to have your say.
Is there a motion to approve resolution 2021, transferring funds within departments and funds?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve resolution 2021-004, a resolution transferring funds within departments and funds. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is ordinance 2021 dash
18.
018, yeah. Which is personnel policy revisions.
This was something that came up. It's just been one of those issues bubbling under the surface, and we're trying to basically match language in the personnel policy manual. Which I think that we have in the salary ordinance. It has some conflicting language. So this ordinance allows us, this changes, I think, one sentence in the personnel policy manual so that overtime can be paid on a week that there would be a vacation or a holiday or a personal day taken if someone is called in on an emergency after hours. In the previous language, it said you had to work for a full 40 hours before you could get that overtime. But then in the separate one, you'll be paid overtime for call-in. So I just moved some wording around, referenced the emergency call-in section, and just said with the straight time will be paid to hourly employees working 40 hours or less per work week. The benefit hours, vacation, holidays, personal leaves, compensatory time, et cetera, are not considered time worked for computing overtime, except in the case of emergency call-in, see section 5, emergency call-in. So.
Now, is this an addendum to this ordinance that I printed up was says 005? Is that?
Yeah, it's the same one.
It's the same one, so it's now 018.
Yeah, if you want to just do it on, I'll fix it.
Is there a motion to approve on first reading ordinance 2021-018 personnel policy revision?
So moved.
Second.
Motion been made and second to approve ordinance 2021-018 on personnel policy revision. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign. Motion carries.
Motion to suspend rules and pass on second, third read.
Second.
Motion been made to suspend rules and pass on second and third reading. Ordinance 2021-018 personnel policy revision. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Same sign. Motion carried. Next. Ordinance 2021-019 encumbered funds.
That's one that we do not have to do.
Oh, that's right.
Because of the squad.
That's the squad car that we don't have to do.
Yes.
Scratch that one. Next, contracts, North Bend Township Fire, Visitor Center, Attorney, MCEDC, Pulaski County Emergency Services.
Probably need to do. I will speak to the North Bend Township
Right.
one. And if you could approve that one, that would be great. It's basically our fire department provides fire coverage for North Bend Township, and in return they pay us $2,500 a year. And so we just need to get that contract approved and signed.
I move that we approve the North Bend Township fire agreement.
Second.
Motion made,
Consideration is the same as previous years.
No changes.
Can you talk them into more money? Okay.
motion made and seconded to approve North Bend Township Fire Department contract. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. The Visitor Center and MCEDC, we're gonna look at and come back.
Yeah, I can make the modifications we discussed and a draft for the next meeting on the agenda, if you would like to do that. And I will send that out to all of you before then, and I'll go ahead and copy Jim too, since we've made changes since last year. I'll give you a little executive summary of what was on.
Everybody's in agreement with that?
Yes.
Pulaski County Emergency Services Contract,
Jeff will cover that.
okay, and Ms., okay. Attorney contract,
Like to approve.
I did forward that one, didn't I?
Yeah, and
Okay.
I forwarded it on to them, yes.
we got
Of
that.
course, I would make sure I got that one.
There's blank.
There's a blank we gotta fill in.
There is a blank you have to fill in, but you'll notice as you requested, I added a deliverable in the form of item 3C concerning unsafe building ordinances and
Right.
assistance of my colleague
Right.
at $200 an hour. The contract I sent to you had no change in the retainer for compensation of meetings and
Right.
minor miscellaneous matters. And then the blank that was left was the per hour for sort of the other items that don't fit into section.
And do you have a figure in mind?
Well, figure I have in mind, you guys probably won't want to do, but
Let's Christmas try it.
no. My colleague's getting 200, but that seems like a pretty good bump, so.
I'm not gonna shut up again.
Oh, you can.
I don't have a problem with that.
Make a motion that that's what you want to put in the,
I gotta figure out how to word this now.
And I guess for discussion, I don't, if you want to make the motion. see if we get it.
discussion. There'll be discussion.
Um, I move that, what was it, Jim, the,
His hourly rate.
Just move to approve the contract and the hourly rate and
okay, I moved to approve the contract and the hourly rate of $200 per hour.
Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Discussion.
It's not a question of value of your services, but the increase from 100 is 30-some%
huge
increase.
percentage.
And again, it's not questioning the value of the services. The fact that there's a retainer involved, sort of buying bulk services for the 24 meetings a year, I would. That's just my comment.
Further discussion.
I think that
There's a motion on the floor.
the work that he's done for us over this past year, past several years, don't see a problem with the increase being a larger percent, because I think it's been low for.
I think we're getting in the future, we're going to have more and more complicated issues and so forth. And I think that the 200 is worth what we may be facing.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the attorney contract and to include an hourly rate of $200 for Jim. All those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you. We have to really work hard.
We expect you to.
Double your verbiage.
Longer documents.
You're gonna have to keep up with your college.
I know. There you are.
Thank God I got her right in there first.
I think that covers all of the contracts of
Good.
the exceptions that we've already made.
Good. Next is nepotism certification.
This is a state statute that
Yep.
requires, again, another end of year tie-up, but requires council, all elected officials to sign certification to the executive of the town of Culver on compliance with the municipal contracting policy and annual certification of elected official to the executive of the town of Culver on compliance with municipal nepotism policy involving direct line supervision. And everybody has signed and certified that there are no conflicts and,
We just need to get Bill his.
yeah. Bill, I've emailed his
Okay, good.
to him and asked him to return it.
Thank you very much. Regional stellar plan update.
All right, I'm just gonna do it all with the town manager report.
Okay.
The electric vehicle charging station, Rocky has finished with his part of that project, so Bob was hoping to get some decent weather in the next week or two for us to finish the install. Technically, we have till spring to get that done, but we were trying to get ours done sooner versus later. State Road 10 sidewalks with Jefferson Street, I have a message into Mike. Bob and I are trying to catch up with him on the drainage issues still. They were trying to get quotes for that and really having difficulty getting quotes. And that's just because contractors have been busy and the time of year, I think. Lake Max Phase 2, that work for the year is going to be completed at the end of the month. And then they'll come back in spring to resume work on the rest of that project. We did get approval for the extension of that, by the way. Lake Max Phase 3, this is still in environmental and expected to be for a while. There are environmental issues that some of the agencies will take a while to sign off on. In the meantime, we do have the utility agreement that has come back from the academies. I need to get that to Jim. That's on my plate, not Jim's, just so you know. It'll get to Jim's plate by the end of the week, and I'm sure you're looking forward to that for New Year's. State Road and Jefferson Trail. This one is getting near completion from design and environmental work. So Mike has talked to us about doing an input meeting. So we will schedule a public input meeting and notify people on the trail about them. Water project proposal from Midwestern. With that utility agreement in the works, we'll be able to get the engineering done on this project. We've let Mark Sullivan know that that's coming along. Peerless proposal for the new well. Bob has had contact with Territorial about the survey work. We're still waiting to get that. They know that that's a priority over the Ohio Street Alley survey that we also have them doing. They are on quite a long schedule, as most of the survey companies are, so we'll see how that comes. We still don't have a schedule from them. Also covers the alley in the next topic. Yes, engineering proposal, we have them working on that. That particular project will become part of the Community Crossings grant. That grant opens up in early January and closes at the end of January. This is something that Bob and I have started working on. He has E&B coming to measure the roads and give us distances for each road segment that Bob would like to have paved as part of that grant, assuming we get the grant. This will probably be my priority in early January. So if you see my office door closed a lot, it's because I haven't done a community crossings grant and it's rather time consuming. So just a heads up on that. The park Stellar project is still status quo. We haven't received an award letter yet from Okra. Not unusual though. So we'll let you know when that comes through. The Beach Lodge building, you all approved of the quote, so Bob is trying to work out a schedule to see if that's gonna have to get done in the spring or sooner, depending on weather. Town manager updates. I think some of you probably know, if not, the CRC approved of me getting some appraisals done on the property at Lake Shore, Maine. Talked to the property owner and he's okay with that, as is the realtor, and I will schedule getting that done. So I'll keep you in the loop on that. Next, under special event permits, Amber may have given you a heads up about this as well. You know how every year we have the adaptive water ski event in July or August timeframe. This year, the date is July 15th and 14th. This is an event we've had done in the past. I think this might be the third or fourth year we do it. Obviously, we didn't do it with COVID last year, so this event is done through RHI Sports Program out of Indianapolis. They use the beachfront, the East Pavilion. They have EMS service in the park. They also bring a medical person along who stays for the entirety of the event. This particular event depends on quite a few volunteers. Anyway, we're looking to get approval for them to do it again this year. And all of the department heads have signed off on it at this point and seen the application. And it's good with the plan as per usual of past years.
Do you want a motion to approve the adaptive water ski clinic?
Yes, that would be great.
I move that we approve the special event permit for the adaptive water ski clinic, July 13 and 14.
Second.
It's been made and seconded to approve the adaptive water ski clinic on July 13th and 14th, 2022. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Great, thank you. If you hadn't heard, we presented the Thomas Miller consulting proposal to the CRC, and they approved covering that 100%. So that's for the broadband task force to use a consultant to continue forward with getting broadband fiber to Culver. We're pretty excited that the CRC was in full support of that. So under Economic Development Initiative, as you guys know, the Crossroads Culver team has been meeting. That's going to be ongoing. All 4 subcommittees have had at least 1 meeting. Most have had 2. And the steering committee has met 3 times now. So that's exciting to see that come along. I suspect that that committee, as well as council and some of the other commissions, we will be ramping up for the comprehensive plan. Keep in mind that there's going to be a ready grant process coming up as well. We're still kind of waiting to hear how that's going to work. But the idea is, if you already had an application in for ready grant, you're probably going to have to flesh out that application. I know for a fact we'll have to do that with the housing project. It'll probably involve resolution, matching funds. So we need to start thinking about that in terms of budget this year. And how we're going to do that. I believe the Marshall County Crossroads team will also be filling out more in-depth applications. We'll all have to go before the RDA board and present. I don't know if that'll be a committee for Marshall County or if each town does theirs individually or how it'll work. Last time with regional cities, I think Jerry Chavez handled the bulk of the presentations. Marshall County has a lot more projects in it and ready than they did with regional cities. So as I learn more about that process, I'll keep you guys in the loop. But we're definitely going to need to spend some time on these applications. If we wanted to do a project that we didn't put in, there is opportunity to do that from what I'm hearing. So as we've talked about the EHO project and some other stuff, we may be able to put that in for a ready grant.
Time frame on that's probably more like in 23, right? Or do you think?
I'm hearing first quarter, we're supposed to start working on whatever we're presenting to the RDA.
Okay, but I'm thinking about awards and all that.
Yeah, I think, well, we've technically been awarded the 50 million for the
Okay.
region. I think we're only one of a few regions that got the full 50 million. Like 70, 80 projects total, which out of Marshall County came. So, interestingly, the basketball court project that Culver put in was one of the projects that RDA highlighted during their state presentation downstate. So that's kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Pick that one up tonight.
Yeah.
New Zones is one of those ready projects. I'm keeping it in the report just because I want to keep you advised with what's going on with that. Affects everyone. And then under nuisance violations, as I let you know, email and have communicated with some of you about this, the Park Meadows garbage accumulation problem. Had one of the residents who lives nearby sent me a picture of the trash company has put an empty dumpster out there, took the full dumpster away. There's still some trash not in the dumpster because basically they just set it there and residents are now moving the garbage that was on the ground. And apparently the new dumpster is already full. So I'm gonna just drive by each day. I work to monitor if that gets cleaned up, because the nuisance letter I sent, they have 10 days from yesterday to get that cleaned up. And if not, then we can take different action if we need to. So I just wanted to let you know there's been progress made today, and hope we will see that continue.
So the health department wasn't any real help to you?
No, they can be of help in terms of they can go pay a visit, but it's according to them a zoning issue, and since it's within our zoning district, they want us to enforce our own ordinance, which we have a nuisance ordinance, so
Right,
at least it's enforceable.
that way.
And in the nuisance letter, I documented each phone call I made to them. That those started on December 14th and went through December 24th. And then of course I made another one Monday morning and delivered the letter.
Well, I know I suggested that you call the health department, and I appreciate you doing that.
Yeah,
I just
and
thought-
they agreed to pay them a visit,
Okay,
because sometimes that is helpful, even if they don't have authority to do anything about it.
Jeff, you got something?
In my experience with the health department, if it's immediate health issue, they will step in and work with you. If it's not immediately health of the people there, then it's let you go through the meetings.
Learn things with different occurrences and incidents like
Right.
this. We should, or maybe want to take a look at the ordinance itself and see if it needs to be revised to be more encompassing and provide some other clout.
I definitely think the 10-day period with grass is not as big a deal as it is this situation. 10 days is a long time when you start the phone calls, particularly when they assured me trash company was coming the Wednesday before Christmas. And they gave me enough information to go on to believe that. But that did not obviously happen, and it wasn't gonna obviously happen over the holiday weekend, which is when I had all kinds of residents visit, text, name it.
We've all had it.
Interestingly, Christmas Day, I think I got the most. But that 10 days was a pretty long time in that scenario.
Luckily, it wasn't July.
We may want to change that specific
Mhm.
part where we treat rubbish differently than say grass. That was the one thing, and we do have the ability to fine. That was one of Karen and I's concern, was whether we could fine them and start imposing the same type of fees we would with grass.
Or make the corrections and then bill back for the services plus time and materials.
That That we can do now, but you have to wait a period of time before you can enter the property.
And also the definition of immediate. What do they consider that?
Well, for the health department, I don't know. I would think
That's what I meant.
there's a present danger.
I mean, do they have to see rats running around the,
Something like that, yes, they would want to be in on it, but just regular rubbish and trash. They
Okay.
wouldn't be involved with it.
There's another issue going on there. When I went to deliver the letter to the lease office, this one of the windows is boarded up. So, it may not be as bad a condition as the property we talked about on Abisko, but there's definitely a boarded window there, not an existing window. I don't know if anyone's in that particular unit. I mean, I don't, so.
Okay.
To me,
Where
that's
is it?
right behind Park and Shop in the north.
the white building, white apartment building?
Apartment
Yeah.
buildings. Yeah, and I wouldn't have noticed it, but I hadn't been on site, so.
Right.
Back in there to see.
The access or entrance to it is next to the academy's accounting office.
Right.
Building, that single
Off of
story
the
building.
Academy Road.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of
Yes.
behind that. So, anyway, I just wanted to give you the update.
Thank you.
I believe that's it.
Thank you, ma'am. Department head report. EMS, Jeff, are you on?
I believe Jeff's at awake tonight.
Those are the known hand, okay. Fire?
Yeah, just two things, year-end reports, which I think you guys should have had a copy of today. And showing you what we did runs, how they went, for the most part, that's where they are. Also, our training, I didn't really give you that, because you want to know, I just tell you that, we put in over 730 scheduled trained hours for our department. That's scheduled training. A lot of other training that doesn't fall into that category. Bi-monthly, every month that we have training, so just to let you guys know where we're at.
Police, Wayne, are you on?
Yes, I have nothing, Mr. President.
Thank you, Wayne. Art? Amber's on vacation. Sorry, Amber. Couldn't decipher. Okay. Thank you. Amber. Facilities? Bob? Bob's not on. Okay. Boards and commissions. Land commission.
Commission, the biggest thing that we've got going right now is working on updating ordinances. Probably the largest thing that's been done over this line of sight issue that we have. I do not find that anywhere. As a will be in writing. I think the line of sight restricts the rules from tools. It goes back. I mean, I try to work that out and that.
BZA.
Okay, we've got January 20th meeting coming up. That's going to be a little bit contentious from the standpoint that the owner wants to put 2 residences on the parcel. That's what they're asking. That's, that can't. It's for that to happen. I think that would be a very interesting meeting.
Velvet?
We passed the resolutions for the TIF, and those have all been sent downstate, filed appropriately on next year.
Good job getting those public hearings in. Pretty good.
I'd like to thank Jenny for doing a lot of the running.
One in room or online for the pre-commission. Clerk's report.
I have several over 2,000 years old. The first one is Corporation for $2,000. Accounting software that I use. Second is bonus sheet. That's Motorola 9,000. Three approved 5,000. Technologies. These, that's, and then finally, support accounts. Dollars.
Motion to approve the claims in excess of 2,000.
So moved.
Second. Second. Made and seconded to approve claims over 2,000, excess of 2,000. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Same sign.
I'm in an audit.
That was only water. It's the rest of it, property. I think it takes, we would be about, I think we're under.
Oh. See, you gotta love this thing.
You know, we try to get it in and out quickly. No, that was, I think the total is 9,000. The second thing I need is that I have $60,000 on the account.
Move to approve the bonds as requested.
Second. Made and seconded to approve bonds. Question, all those opposed say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, sign. Motion carries.
I just wanted to remind everyone that there are 5 of those. That's your tickets. Thank you. The first. The application deadline is Friday, and the applications are available on the website. Fridays. And other than that's
Much. Attorney report.
I only have one thing, that's the update. Longer. Do ventures of all of those associated entities, their complaint, as you recall from last time, our insurance carrier also filed a miss. It's a response. Like we'll have The response to the motion is kind of the typical kind of thing indicating that this complaint, or if there's any set of facts that might claim get it dismissed at the early juncture. But it's interesting because the response where's the fact that fire and what polished by the town kind of makes it timing issue. And I mean, I think to be the argument.
You had a demolition?
I don't. I'm just telling you what
Yes,
the
sir.
response was. And then in response to some of the things about immunity, fire department. They can't claim. They didn't get there. Fire. So,
We found a little law.
oh, he's got the same attorney, yeah. And he ignores all of the a lot of these people really don't have any standing but to file this. A lot of at this point, it's just and Marshall County remains red. I guarantee you. And Mr. President, that's all I have. Happy New Year. Thank you. Also.
Is there anyone online or in the room where utility shut off ordinance violation? You're seeing none. Citizen input. Anyone online for citizen input? Hearing none, is there anyone in the room?
Just that minor thing. Follow up on intersection.
Yeah.
The other one is, I'd ask her for today, I just heard.
Issues. Or any other citizen input? Seeing none, council issues. Rich?
Just to expand on the PRC adoption of the vision to the if and the that was approved by the planning commission and also by the council. The net result is that the if was collected will increase by $2,000 a year. It's $5,000. And cost for those services. Is that another?
That's one reason that we don't do that very often.
And $2,075.
I just wish everyone a happy new year.
Same here.
I want to wish you a happy new year, and I want to really thank all my fellow council put in on this salary ordinance. Happy to report clerk treasurer. Went out and gotten all these certifications. Exponential. I give her a lot of grief. Actually,
You have to take it with a smile, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
Bill,
Mr. Attorney,
Bill, I might have one other thing.
Go ahead.
Following up on what Rich said, although we spent more money than what we gained, I think what we did is we proved a lot of the accusations false.
point well taken.
That is one good reason.
And the fact that the
See what
They
the
didn't
actual
think they
dollars
didn't
were.
think we'd get it done by year end.
Right.
We were able to do that, but, we'll have to do that. Motion to adjourn.
We adjourn the claims?
I'll second that.
Those in favor say aye.
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 All opposed?